Okay, your attention, everyone. We're about to begin. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Could you gather in this part of the lawn so that we can begin? Okay, everyone. Okay, everyone. We're about to begin. Okay, everyone. Call to order. Okay, call to order. I'm calling the meeting to order. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're starting with the presentation of the colors, the flags, and today we are fortunate, 3 of our younger residents, Sophie Foster and Jake Foster of Cumberland, and Claire Rovac of Cumberland, are presenting the colors. And after that, legendary singer Andrew Lewis will be singing the national anthem. Okay, everyone. Let's all watch the presentation of the colors. And while the colors are being presented, I would also urge everyone to get a copy of the Somerset anthem. Maybe those, Linda Williams, our executive assistant, is handing out the words so you can all sing. Okay, here they come.
Do you have flagpoles?
The flag.
Or I mean the bases?
Oh, they
Or are they just gonna hold
it? Okay, let's give a round of applause. Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you can please rise, remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Do you have the words?
Do you
to
need the words?
The Somerset anthem?
Do you need the words?
I do.
You got it.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we will begin our annual ritual and the, I believe, only singing annually of the Somerset anthem. So look around. Does anybody other than me have the lyrics? Well, I will remind you, it is a lovely tone poem to the town of Somerset.
Maybe take
all right.
some over there.
Quickly, they're going around. And the melody goes a little bit like da 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 da. You'll catch along. So, all right. So here we go. I'll vamp and make some Somerset jokes while the lyrics get distributed, but I don't have many Somerset jokes. All right. All right. Sounds good. All right. So this is an anthem written about a decade ago by Kathy Picard, who lives on...
What is she on? What street?
Dorset.
She's on Dorset.
Former council member.
Former council member Kathy Picard. All right, I'll sing again the first line for you. So, in the shadow of our nation's home, there lies a special place. Born when a century turned its page and grown with timeless grace, where neighbors live neath noble trees and friends are made we won't forget. We call it home, this special place, our town of Somerset.
And we're
All
going
right.
to do it again.
Do it again?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that was the
That
practice.
was our practice round.
That was the practice. Okay, now everyone,
Now,
please
this
sing.
time for real. Okay. All right, as a community, everyone. In the shadow of our nation's home, there lies a special place. Born when a century turned its page and grown with timeless grace, where neighbors live neath noble trees and friends are made we won't forget. We call it home, this special place, our town of Somerset. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Next year, from memory.
And perhaps Andrew will be on The Voice sometime this year with that song. So I want to welcome everyone today. For those who I have not met, I'm Jeffrey Slavin. I've been the mayor for almost 20 years, and I want to welcome our newcomers in particular. And I want to thank all of our residents who are attending today, especially those who have assisted with the planning the festivities. Somerset in many ways represents the ideals that we celebrate as Americans. It is full of hardworking residents who pull together for the overall betterment of our community. We strive to be an inclusive, forward-thinking, and respectful town. We have an elected town government with a council that strives for fairness and to do what is right for its citizens. And we, of course, have an active and engaged citizenry that helps our small municipal government be as representative as possible. I want to recognize the council members who are here. President Steve Serco, and you'll see them all a little later. Councilmember Robin Barr, Councilmember Shannon Rovak, and Councilmember Kabir Kumar. I'm not sure if Councilmember Debbie Heller is here, but she might be on the way. So that rendition of the song was beautiful, and the national anthem. And we will begin our program today with words of wisdom, brief words of wisdom, non-campaign type, from our elected officials. And I see if our elected officials could come forward. I see we'll start with our county executive, Mark Elrich. And then if you others could come forward. And I see our police chief. We're so happy our police chief is here. County Executive Mark Elrich.
Okay, thank you. This is probably one of the most bittersweet 4th of Julys that I can think of, because we've watched in the last couple of weeks an erosion of things that people thought were fundamental rights. And that's not happened here before. I mean, in my lifetime, I'm 72 years old, I confess. The progress in this country is to extend more rights and extend more protections, to make life better for people, to protect the vulnerable, to recognize women's rights, something that wasn't, enshrined in the Constitution. And to watch those things slipping away at the same time we celebrate the 4th of July is a hard thing to do in juxtaposition. It's hard to be thrilled when you wonder what we're supposed to do next to try to make this country the country that all of us believe it should be, and I think all of us believe it could be. So I want to thank you all for coming out. I do like the spirit. I just got through a big parade. It was amazing listening to the people and talking with people in a parade, and the excitement people had about being with each other and being able to celebrate. And I hope we celebrate today. And I hope that all of us think about what are the things we can do to help make the promise of America the reality of America, to not let this thing slip so far away from us that it becomes desperately difficult to pull back. So let's make this a good 4th of July, enjoy ourselves, and then think about the work ahead of us and make sure we all get that work done. We owe it to our children and our grandchildren, and we owe it to the people who put their lives on the line to get us to the point where we are today. So thank you all very much.
Councilmember Andrew Friedson, our District 1 council member.
Thank you so much, Mayor Slavin. Happy 4th of July, town of Somerset. A special place you all are so lucky to call home, and I am so privileged to be able to represent as your district council member on the Montgomery County Council. Our country is hurting, and the 4th of July is more important than ever, not that we retreat from our values, that we double down on our values. Somerset is a place, and this community is a place that doesn't just march for rights and march for values. It models those values right here in your community, in your town, as neighbors and friends. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for representing that the 4th of July isn't just Independence Day, it's really an interdependence day. It's how we celebrate 13 colonies becoming one and families becoming communities. And there is no better community, no better example of what communities can be than the town of Somerset. So thank you for modeling it. Thank you for showing us the way. Thank you for being such an important part of Montgomery County and proving what our country could be as we move towards a more perfect union. Happy 4th of July.
And I see Council President Gabe Albornoz, who has a special connection to the town.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mayor Slavin, for your leadership. Just this delicate stage here. I am so honored and thrilled to be with all of you today. My name is Gabe Albornoz. I am president of the County Council this year and one of your 4 at-large members of the council. And I do have a special connection to Somerset. My grandparents, Hugo and Guadalupe Albornoz, lived on Uppingham Street for over 30 years. And so I grew up playing on that basketball court and going to the Somerset pool and have nothing but the most endearing memories of this very special community. As my colleagues have mentioned, these have been challenging and disorienting times, but today reminds us that so much more unites us than divides us. And on this spectacular 4th of July day, let's reaffirm our values as a community and as a county and as a country to respect and love one another. Thank you all so much, and happy 4th of July, everyone.
Now we have Council at-large member Evan Glass.
Thank you very much, Mayor Slavin. Good Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. It's been a long day for all of us, and I'm here to say happy 4th of July. And as you've heard from my colleagues, there is a lot of emotion that's out there in our country right now. But I just want to share with you all that regardless of what happens down on Capitol Hill, regardless of what happens down on the Supreme Court, we here in Montgomery County are going to triple our commitment to making sure that everyone feels welcome and safe in our community. Any part of Montgomery County, especially here in Somerset, where we celebrate every single neighbor, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of where you pray, who you love, how you identify, and we are going to make sure that individuals and women have the reproductive freedom that they need. That's who we are here in Montgomery County. Those are our rights and liberties, and we're going to continue to support them. So thank you all, and happy July 4th.
And now we have at-large Councilmember Will Jawando.
Thank you. We call it home, this special place, our county of Montgomery. Thank you. Thank you very much. Following on my colleagues' points, this is a special place. It's where I've been born and raised. It's been an honor to be an at-large council member, represent all of our 1.1 million residents. I'll be all over, many of us will be all over this county today, seeing the great places in Montgomery County. Somerset is a wonderful place. I've already met several people whose parents live here. They live other parts of Montgomery County, but they come back to Somerset for this July 4th celebration. So it's an honor to represent you. I have made great progress on the county council over these last 4 years. You think at what's happened. We haven't gathered. We've lost people we've loved. People have lost jobs and businesses, but we've remained resilient. We've also been the county that has the highest vaccination rate for a large county in the nation. That was you. So we have a lot to do. We are an example for the country. If anyone can get it right, we can do it here in Montgomery County, where people can live together and have what they need to eat, to live, to go to school, to make a living, and to retire with dignity. That is the Montgomery County promise. That's what Somerset's all about. That's what we're reminded about here on July 4th. So happy to be with all of you, and God bless you, and happy July 4th.
Excellent singing. Now we have our great state senator, Susan Lee.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm Maryland State Senator Susan Lee, and thank you for the privilege and honor of letting me represent you in the Maryland State Senate with my wonderful colleagues, Delegate Mark Corman, Delegate Sarah Love, and Delegate Ariana Kelly, who are here with me today. Thank you for letting us share this wonderful celebration with you today, because this is a day when we celebrate our nation's birthday. We celebrate independence, justice, freedom, and also the overcoming tyranny. And we've been through a lot as a country, but also in the state of Maryland. We went through COVID, we went through January 6th, but we got through it all. And we're here today, right, to celebrate with Somerset. And I'm so grateful to be here with you today. And thank you for letting us pass good laws like gun safety laws, laws to protect the environment, women's reproductive health, and also a good education. So anyway, we're celebrating everything, our rich diversity, which makes us unique, and all those things that we share in common as Americans. And so I'm so delighted to be here. And let's give your council a hand too. Aren't they wonderful? I really love working and partnering with them. Anyway, thank you again, and happy birthday to our nation, and happy 4th of July. Thank you so much. And our Mayor Slavin too.
Next, Delegate Mark Corman, also known as Mr. Metro of Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I'm Mark Corman, along with my assistant, who wanted to say hello.
Hi.
It's a great day to turn off cable news and turn off Twitter and remember the great things about unity and community about this country. But I did just want to take a minute to acknowledge one of your neighbors, who I don't think he or his family are here, but this is our last 4th of July being represented by Brian Frost, your neighbor and our friend. Brian has served this district as a state delegate, as a state senator, and for the past 8 years as our attorney general. And I just wanted to acknowledge Brian's terrific work. He's decided to retire after such a successful, wonderful career, but he is really a hero to think about on July 4th, because for 4 years, he was really standing up for the rule of law and our democracy and has done a tremendous job for us. I hope you'll all think about Brian today and have a great, happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Next, State Delegate Sarah Love.
Thank you, Mayor Slavin. Hi, everyone. So a lot of what I was going to say has already been said, but I just want to say a couple of things. As dark as some of the things that are happening in our country are, we have these amazing elected officials around us. And I am so appreciative to serve with each and every one of them. And you all make that happen. You all vote, you all believe in our democracy and elect us, and we are so thankful. I am also incredibly appreciative of the young people. We've got some Democracy Summer Fellows here today. So thank you for working for our democracy. I also want to thank our firefighters, and I believe who's going to come after me, our public safety officials. Thank you all for everything that you do. Happy 4th, everyone.
Yes, and last but not least, our Police Chief Marcus Jones.
Great to see you. So good afternoon and happy 4th of July. Thanks to Mayor Slavin for always inviting the Montgomery County Police, myself to be here and celebrate here with the town of Somerset on such a fabulous occasion. Today this is a special day for Montgomery County Police. Not only are we celebrating the birth of our nation, but we're also celebrating the birth of Montgomery County Police. Today is our 100th anniversary. Thank you. And our officers and our staff are very happy about our celebration. We again are very appreciative to you all as the citizens of Montgomery County who help to support our department and who provide a great deal of partnership as we help to keep our community safe. Thank you to all the elected officials for being here today and for supporting us. And again, please have a great and safe 4th of July and enjoy this very special day. Thank you.
Yes, I also want to recognize, we work very closely with the police department, Police Chief Jones, and the commanders. And I also want to recognize the Montgomery County Fire Department. We work closely with Chief Goldstein. We had some equipment from the Bethesda Fire Department. Our rep to the board, former Councilmember Barbara Condos, thank you. And the liaison to the Fire Department, which is Councilmember Shannon Rovek. So thank you, elected officials. Thank you for all you do to create such a high quality of life for our residents in Somerset. So next is the highlight of the afternoon, which is having our young people read the Declaration of Independence. And I think is Chair Ann Kelly Bolton of the Budget Committee, who this year took over the volunteer leadership of getting this together. Thank you so much. What's good for you?
Can you call the kids up? Can you just
Yeah, could all of the young people who are going to be reading today please come forward?
Or if you want to read it, there's extra parts. We'll give it to you. You can also go up with somebody else. Clara Weiss. Clara. Where's Clara? Caleb. Right,
Mark, you're...
Joey Eden. Joey. You never gave it to me. Junior, are you going to do it with Jonah. Jonah Rand. Right there. You need your paper. Julia Tiny.
So while they're getting organized, I do want to thank our tremendous staff led by Matt Trollinger, our town manager, and let's have a huge round of applause for Linda Williams, who put all this together today. And please note the lovely swag we have for sale and some of the refreshments and the popcorn.
Okay, and then, Esty, you're right behind Gage. Where's Esty? Hey, Gage, which number? Okay, and then Amelia Lawler, after Esty.
So as you know, that this annual reading of this most important document celebrates and is emblematic of the best that we celebrate today: unity, freedom, and the rejection of tyranny. This year, we may consider our freedoms in a new context, and while it is, I hope that the reading can also be a contemplative and reflective moment for everyone here today. And I think we are about ready.
If everybody could just be quiet for the kids, because I know it's hard to hear, and we're gonna hold it close to their mouth, but we're gonna try to not spread any COVID, so, okay.
In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of people to alter or abolish it, and to institute the new government.
Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes.
And according all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, which evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and what does that say? Usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance of those colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people.
He has refused for a long time, after such dissolutions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative power, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise. The state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of the new appropriations of lands.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent for laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges depend on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payments for their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substances. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off our trades with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trials by the jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
For abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing the reign and arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever.
He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries, complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation.
All right, we lost 15, so I'll just read that part. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
Nor have we been wanting in attention to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend unwarrantable jurisdiction over us.
We have reminded them of circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence.
They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessities which denounce our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for its rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies.
Bring it home, Andy.
Solemnly publish and declare that these United Colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain ought to be totally dissolved.
And that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may have right to do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
I just want to thank the kids on the Somerset Dolphin swim team, because every single kid you saw up there is on the team, and they really came out when we needed volunteers last minute, so really appreciate that. And thank you to Mayor Slavin.
And let's thank Ann Bolton. So I would like to ask the council members to come forward so that we can read the names of the swim team winners and the graduates. But I do see that our Attorney General is here, so I want to call him forward just to give his final, maybe he'll tell a joke. Come forward and just give your final message of freedom as Attorney General.
You were recognized for filling in. Hello, Somerset. And we have the best mayor in the state of Maryland, Jeffrey Slavin. Thank you so much. Thanks to the town council for making this possible every year, and thank all of you for being here, and hope you're enjoying yourselves. It's hard to have a good joke after last week, you know? I mean, maybe they were 3 jokes or 4 jokes that the Supreme Court told. But I can tell you this. I mean, I've not seen a worse week in the Supreme Court in my lifetime. But I can tell you this. Our office is working hard. We are fighting for women's rights to make their own reproductive decisions. We're fighting for gun safety, and we're fighting climate change. And nothing the Supreme Court did in the past week is going to change that. We are going to keep punching. We are not backing down,
There are lots of things that we can do as a state, and I intend to run through the tape in January. We're going to keep fighting for you, keep fighting for democracy, and I wish you all a great Independence Day. Let's make it be live for all the kids here and their children and everyone who follows. This is still the greatest country in the world. Thank you very much, and happy 4th.
Thank you, sir. So Councilmember Kabir Kumar is going to now announce the new record holders for the swim team, and then Council President Serco is going to read the names of our graduates, and Councilmember Barr, Councilmember.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? So good. Okay, happy 4th, everyone. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm here to recognize the Somerset Dolphins record breakers from last season. But before I do that, how about a round of applause for the entire Somerset Dolphins team? Go Dolphins! As you guys know, each swimmer fights for literally seconds in every meet, in every event, and all of us should feel very much proud of them for all the efforts that they put in. I also want all of us to recognize the swim team committee, Jeff, Ann, Matt, Gail, Kelly, Dario, because last year we moved up a division thanks to their efforts. Well done, Jeff. All the engineering worked out. I'm very proud of you. All right. I'm going to read out not record by swimmer, if that's okay, so we can, because these guys have broken a lot of records. So I'm going to start with Gage Bolton. Okay, so Gage, 10 records were broken during the swim season last year, and Gage broke Gavin Springer's 2009 record for the boys 12 and under 100-meter IM with a time of 1 minute 12 seconds and 96 milliseconds. Well done, Gage. He also broke Peter Kumar's 2019 record with a time of 28:64 in the boys 11-12-50 free, and broke again Gavin's 2009 record with a time of 31:15 in the 11-12-50 fly. Well done, Gage. Now Dylan Riley, come on up, Dylan. Okay, Dylan broke Gavin Springer's 2007 record. We need Gavin here. With a time of 33:19 in the boys 9-10-50 free, and he broke Adam Bookman's 1994 record with a time of 18:68 in the boys 25-9-10 breast. Well done, Dylan. Okay, now the the Smith sisters. I don't think they're here, so Delia is going to represent. Okay, so first Emily Smith, she lowered her own record with a time of 1:20:44 in the girls 100, 15, 1800 best. Well done, Emily. And Sam broke 1, 2, 3, 4 records. And let me look at this. All of her own records. In the girls 15-1800 IM, in the girls 15-1800 free, in the girls 15-18-50 fly, and 100 back. Well done, Sam.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, guys.
So Chair Mascot, could you come forward so you can do the photo op? Where's Jeff? Yeah. So why don't you do that? And so now Council members Barr and President Serco come. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So now we're going to recognize the graduates, and after the council members announce the names that we have, if anyone graduated that we didn't have on our list, could you please come forward and identify yourself to the crowd, and we will give you a gift.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Raphael Alcon, graduated from Westland Middle School and is off to BCC High School. Please step forward. Eli Bolton, graduated from Franklin Montessori and is off to Washington Episcopal. Sophia Geyer, graduated from Westland Middle School and is off to BCC High School. Oh, even closer. Sorry. Zan Geyer, graduated from Chevy Chase Elementary School and is off to Westland Middle School. Nicholas Anderson, graduated from BCC High School and is off to University of Colorado at Boulder. Ellie Hyman, graduated from Milton Jewish Day School and is off to St. Andrew's Episcopal. Now I'll let my colleague read the rest. Oops.
Steve. Sam Thompson from Uppingham Street, graduating from BCC and is going on to UMD Honors College. Eliza Fox from Cumberland Avenue, graduating from Westland Middle School, going on to BCC. Zach Fox, also from Cumberland Avenue, graduating from Somerset Elementary and going on to Westland Middle School. Ananya Neek from Dorset Avenue, graduating from the University of Chicago and is moving to Detroit. Abby Bobeck from Warwick Place is graduating from BCC and going on to Scripps College. And Sam Torricilla from Fallstone Avenue is going from Westland Middle School to BCC. Thank you. Are there any other graduates who would like to be recognized? And some of them are more shy than others, I can see.
Okay, so we'll get your names, but tell us your name and where you graduated from, where you're going next.
My name
Come on up.
is Julia Kenny, and I graduated from Somerset Elementary School, and now I'm going to Westland Middle School.
Congratulations.
I'm Lena Fuentes Darling, and I graduated from Somerset Elementary School. I'm going to Westland Middle School.
Okay, I'm Avery Mascot, and I graduated from National Cathedral School Middle School, and I'm going to NCS High School.
Congratulations. We'll get you. We'll get some.
I'm Tomia Still. I graduated from Somerset Elementary School. I'm going to the London Oratory School.
I'm Gianna and I'm graduating from the primary day school, and next year I'm going to Milton.
And now I'm calling to the stage Councilmember Shannon Rovak to announce the winners of the cupcake contest.
Do you hold it or do I?
Yeah, you hold it, and then
This is okay. I have the great opportunity to announce the winners of the Cupcake Challenge. So, can everyone hear me? Oh, hi, Claire. With my daughter. In third place, this was a hard decision, but it is Julia Medin. Coming in at second place is Joey Edick. And the winner of the 2022 Cupcake Contest for the town of Somerset is Avery and Everett Mascot. Thank you to everyone who brought cupcakes.
And we also want to thank the judges, which was Kenneth Rovac, Chief of Staff to Councilmember Rovac, Leslie Kaplan, our journal editor, and the distinguished Linda Williams. So that concludes our formal proceeding. Oh, wait a minute. We have a surprise guest. We have a superstar guest. Before we conclude, I would like to introduce someone that everybody already knows, Congressman Jamie Raskin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's great to be here in the greatest little small town in America. Happy 4th of July, you guys. Did everybody get their awards? And did you guys read the Declaration?
Yes.
Oh man, I really am late. I'm sorry. Well, are we doing the three-legged races yet, or no?
That's soon. You can do that.
That's
you can
coming.
Participate.
That's coming. All right. Well,
Hold the mic closer.
I wanted to just wish everybody a happy Independence Day. I was thinking about Abe Lincoln. Any of you guys study Abe Lincoln in school? Are you still studying President Lincoln? I hope so. I've got a little statue of him on my desk in the Rayburn House office building. I love Abe Lincoln. Anybody else love Abe Lincoln out there? But, liberty and union together. Liberty and union. But people always used to ask Abe Lincoln, like, why are you always talking about the Declaration of Independence? Because really, before Lincoln got to it, everybody was talking about the Constitution. And when he got up on the Gettysburg battlefield in 1863, and he said 77 years ago, that's 87 years. If you subtract that from 1863, it gets you to 1776. That's when our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men, and we would say today women, are created equal, right? It began with the Declaration. He said after the Declaration, you had the Articles of Association, the Articles of Confederation, and the Constitution. We're trying to work it out, but it was the Declaration that set forth the principles of the country, right? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, right? And are endowed by their Creator with unalienable rights, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and that governments are erected amongst us on the basis of the consent of the governed, right? Up until America, all of the countries were based on kings and queens and emperors and czars, people like Vladimir Putin. You want Vladimir Putin to be running your government? I don't think so, right? But in those days, the kings and the queens said, well, we got our power directly from God. And how do you know they got their power from God? Because they told you they got their power directly from God. But America turned it upside down. It wasn't the gods and the kings and the queens and the lords and the nobles all the way down to the people. We flipped it over. We the people. The first three words of the Constitution. We the people. It's our government. It's our country. In order to form what? Good for you. A more perfect union. Give those kids an A+, please. In order for a more perfect union, what comes after that? Establish justice. Ensure domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense. What's after that? Promote the general welfare and preserve to ourselves and our posterity what? The blessings of liberty. Right? The blessings of liberty. Do hereby ordain and establish the Constitution. So what's the relationship between the Declaration and the Constitution? Well, here's what Abe Lincoln said. He said, the Constitution is like a beautiful silver platter. A beautiful silver platter. But on it sits the beautiful apple of gold, which is freedom, the promise of the Declaration. And the platter is there for the apple. Democracy is there to protect our freedom, not the other way around. But in America today, both democracy and freedom are under attack. What do you say, guys? Should we defend our democracy? Should we defend our freedom in America? What do you think? That's our job in 2022. We're going to defend our democracy, and we're going to defend our freedom, and it all begins right here in this extraordinary, beautiful small town of Somerset in Chevy Chase, Maryland. So I'll leave you with the words of two people. One, the great Frederick Douglass was born an hour away from here into slavery on the Wye River plantation. He escaped from slavery to become our great abolitionist, freedom fighter, then through the Civil War into the Reconstruction. And Douglass said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress. The struggle may be moral, it may be physical, it may be moral and physical, but there must be struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. Can we hear it for a fellow Marylander, the great Frederick Douglass from the 19th century? And I leave you finally with the words of Tom Paine, the globe-trotting revolutionary democratic patriot who came over here in 1774, fell in love with the promise of America. He said we would become a haven of refuge for the world. We would become an asylum to humanity. Not an insane asylum, mind you, but a place of refuge for people seeking freedom from political oppression, religious oppression, economic oppression. And so it was a tough time in 1776. A lot of people said, you can't beat the kings and queens. You can't separate church and state. You can't create government on the principle of democracy by the people. But the democratic forces were stronger, and they had faith that we could create democratic self-government. And he wrote this pamphlet because people were upset and they didn't know whether we could do it, right? And always the forces of democracy are more disorganized and more chaotic, and everybody's running around saying, what's our message, and do we know what our message is? And Tom Paine understood that, and he wrote this pamphlet. I'm going to quote just a passage, but I'm going to update it at the instructions of Speaker Pelosi so it doesn't offend anybody's sensibilities here. But he said, these are the times that try men and women's souls. These are the times that try men and women's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will shrink at this moment from the service of their cause in their country. But everyone that stands with us now will win the love and the favor and the affection of every man and every woman for all time. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, but we have this saving consolation. The more difficult the struggle, the more glorious in the end will be our victory. Let's make that victory ours in 2022. Thank you, Mayor Slavin. Thank you, Somerset. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Thank you for that rousing finale. So now I want to call forward Delia Vanderzon, who's going to talk about the activities from now, after this event. And before we part, I do want to thank our two staff people, Tomas Villanueva and Jose Castillo, for help putting this together. And I also want to, a few weeks ago, we dedicated a beautiful path between Somerset and Friendship Heights to our fantastic retired council president, Marnie Shaw. So I think she's here. So I hope you all go take a walk on that path today.
All right, that was a great act to follow. We are gonna do an egg toss. So if everybody could just go in like the next 3 to 5 minutes down into the grass yard back there. We're gonna grab the eggs. Everybody have a partner. No boiled eggs, please. And we will commence the, I don't know what year, but the annual egg toss. Thank you so much.